Hello everyone, Morty here, back with another video. Again, today I'm going to be talking about BG Blitz again, but just like the last video, I'm going to focus on a specific battleground. Today I'm going to be talking about Kotmogu. This one is a pretty fast-paced one, normally in like a regular setting, not outside of BG Blitz, but ironically, it has seem to be one of the longer PGs, which is anywhere from like, I think my longest one was 16 minutes, whereas most of the other games are 12 minutes or less. I had a few quick ones in here, but it all depends on how things go, but these are usually some of my longer ones. So yeah, we'll take a look at this. I'll kind of go over some of the strategies that some people use. And they did recently make a change to how, some of the resources work. So they ramped it up a little bit. It looks like they got a lot of feedback from a lot of people saying this game mode felt really slow. So we'll go over some of that in this video too. So when the battleground starts, the normal strategy is to not pick up an orb immediately. The reason being is because if you get killed with an orb, the other team does gain points. So you want to make sure, you want to kind of see how the team fight is going and make sure you're not going to just get ran over and immediately just lose your points. So, or give the other team points. As you can see, this game's, the other team picked up orbs right away, and we picked up one as well. But as you can see, the one on our side, we just kind of ran by it. But usually what will happen is you just clash with the other team and just kind of see how the team fight goes, and then go pick up orbs from there. So you're not giving the other team points by getting killed with the orb. So as you can see, we killed the orb carrier there, and we gained, it's not a lot of points, but it's enough. It was 20 points, it looks like, off of that kill. So that's one of the reasons you don't want to just run in there and grab orbs right away and get killed, because you do lose points. And not only that, is if you give them points and you give them the opportunity to pick up the rest of the orbs as well. So now one of the differences in this game mode, so you're going to want to control mid. You could theoretically grab all 4 orbs and just run around the edge, but if the other team has 2 orbs and you have 2 orbs, in the regular game modes, at least not at the start, you're not going to be giving up a lot of point differential between you and the center. So if they're standing in the mid and you're running around the outside just kiting, you're generally not going to lose that much of a point advantage to them. However, the change now as I'm playing this one here, that's how this currently works. So you generally didn't want to run into the middle with the orb and just get killed and right away and lose points and all that kind of stuff, because there wasn't really, unless you controlled mid, there wasn't really a reason for you to be in there. But now the change they made after I had played it on the PTR is you actually gain more resources in the center part of the map. So it's going to be interesting to see how much of an increase that is. But as of right now, it's just going to be really interesting to see how much of a point difference that is. You don't want to usually do what I do here. You pick up the orb in the middle of a bunch of the other players and just get killed, but unless you know you can get away. So the exact change they said they made says Temple of Kotmogu resource acquisition rate increased in the middle areas of the map. Middle areas of the map, I'm going to assume, is right in this area here, down below the ledges in the center here, in the center area. But I guess that could also mean inside here or all out the outside edges, and because the outside of the map you could also take the orb on the outside as well, all the way outside, and gain points that way too. That's generally a really slow way to do it, but it can be done. It is a strategy where teams would get the orbs and kite along the outside there as well, until they know they could control mid. Some teams would just run around the outside forever, just keep kiting away from people too, and they would use this outside part to kite. But so I'm going to assume when they say increase rate in the middle areas of the map, I'm going to assume that means in the middle area there, in the little arena part in the middle. But it could also mean along the edges here as well, on the outside edges. But I guess we'll have to kind of see and test that. But yeah, so they also, just to kind of note too, the shadow sites you can pick up which it doesn't apply in this map because you don't see them. There's not really a reason to pick them up, I guess. Not like on the flag maps, but Shadow Sight's duration was also increased to 12 seconds, and it was 8 seconds. So the stealth buff you can get to see stealth was increased as well in that change. As you can see, the other team has 4 orbs. Although, yeah, the other team has 4 orbs right now, so generally that would be when you'd want to kind of move your team to mid. They didn't really have a lot of players except for the orb carriers in the mid, so they're actually getting run down now. But generally, when you have 4 orbs, especially if you can get there and control it, is when you want to move to mid, because you can gain points pretty quickly when you have all 4 orbs and sitting in mid, and maybe with those changes even quicker now. So yeah, we'll have to see if, again, how much of an increase that was, and see how much quicker the games are. One of the things to talk about right now too, just why I didn't mention this in the first video, but the way the brawl technically is cross-faction, but the way it works right now is it works like mercenary mode. So if you get placed on the horde side, it swaps you to, I guess, the appropriate race. So for instance, my paladin is a human, but since I'm on the horde side, it may be a blood elf. I'm hoping this changes because 8 out of the 12 or 11 games I played, I was put on the horde side because there was more alliance queuing. So I was made a blood elf a lot, which I play human for a reason because I like playing double trinket. I actually have a max level blood elf, so if I wanted to play blood elf, I'd play the blood elf. But it would be nice. It could be even worse for other types of players, other types of races. So if you're a demon hunter and you play night elf, and it makes you a blood elf instead, and you lose shadow meld, that's a big deal. Especially, say for like a tank demon hunter or something like that would be sitting a base, they could shadow meld the base and sit it. So yeah, I'm hoping that gets changed by the time this goes live. I mean, we know they have we know they can make rated modes cross-faction, so it'll be interesting to see if they make this as a brawl, since it has the goal being a rated mode cross-faction in the fullest sense, and not like the mercenary mode, where it just kind of swaps your race if you're on the opposite faction's team. So, because again, it'd be for some races to lose the racial somebody's playing, for like night elf or even human or even like say dark iron or something like that, is kind of a big deal. So hopefully, again, that is live. When this goes live, that is changed, or maybe soon after. So I want to clarify, I had said earlier that it's 20 points per kill. It's actually 10 points, and kind of clarify a little bit on how the points actually work. This is before they change anything, so this is going to be increased from what they were. But on the very in the middle, when you control the middle, it's 6 points per orb in the middle, per tick, and then on the outer ring area, it's 4 points per tick per orb, and then on the graveyard very outside area, the graveyard areas, it's only 2 points per tick per orb. So I'm interested to see how much that changes. The very center part is definitely going to change, so that's been increased, and I'm be interested to see if the outer ring has been changed, if that's considered the center area, or if it's just the very middle. It doesn't really clarify in the post. But another thing to keep in mind too is the stairs. You could either gain 4 or 6 points depending on where you're standing. So you got to kind of keep an eye on that as well. But that will definitely go up as well. That will kind of change probably with the changes. So just to clarify some things there. If you're new to BGs in general, the longer you have those orbs, the more damage you do and stuff. You get a buff, but you also take way more damage. So you can kind of see the stacks on someone when you hover over them. The more stacks you have, the more the more opportunity just to get one shot. Some classes will just one shot you when you have enough of those anyways. It's really hard to defend against, like say a rogue or an MM hunter or something like that. They're just going to one shot you at a certain point. So you just kind of almost got to anticipate that and be ready to go pick up that orb again, and just kind of call it out and be like, I'm going to die soon. I have a lot of stacks, or just be ready and just let your team know so they can kind of move in position to maybe go grab that orb as soon as you die. So as you can see, this game is pretty close, which is awesome. My experience with this map a lot of times, even in regular BGs, is you're either losing, getting slaughtered, or you're slaughtering. So it's usually not, I don't really see a whole lot of close games with this. It might just be my experience, but so it was nice to see that on this map in this game. be pretty close on when we were testing on the PTR. Like I had mentioned earlier, this mode was supposed to be one of the faster ones. They didn't make any changes to it because in regular RPGs and in BGs especially, it's usually one of the it's probably one of the or the fastest, if not one of the fastest. So be interesting to see how much it changes with the resources added in and how much that affects things and how fast the games go after that. So I'm planning on doing some more videos on some of the other maps and some of the changes. Some of the other maps did get some quite a few different changes, kind of like Eye of the Storm did, which is my last video I did, which I'll post in the description. I do have a VoD up as well of my stream when I tested on the PTR. I'll put that in the description as well, so you can check those out if you want to as well. But yeah, so keep an eye out, and another video should be coming out soon to help you check those out, and I'll see you in the next one.